Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. It's time for our closing bell show, last show of the week. And what a day it's been. What opportunities there are right now to pick up your favorite stocks on discount. We've explained it over many videos, what's going on. It's a rotation. This is perfectly normal. It's an opportunity to be able to, for those that take profits, to drive the market down, for those who want to reinvest. Difference between traders trade, investors invest. Investors are loving days like this. This is where we build up our portfolios, use our margins, and accelerate our growth for when it starts again. We're going to start off with SoFi this time. So we've got a review to do here. So let's start right now. Let me just scroll down my list to see. Where's my SoFi? There it is for Robbie Cooper. That's happening right now. So let me take that out of there. And we'll be starting this immediately. That's why it's already set up. SoFi at top. Okay. I'm going to get straight into it so we can then finish the show on a high. Stephen Wally, good evening to you. Evening all, Team Fusion. The S&P is now trying to come up again. I bought some more S&P. I've been waiting for further dips. The drops are now slowing. So maybe getting to the bottom. No one knows where the bottom is. Don't need to know where the bottom is. Point is I'm getting in as it does go down because it will just go higher the next time round. That's how it works. You can be fairly confident of that. Right. Okay. Just watching it now rise into the close. So I'm going to make a start onto my SoFi review. Let's bring everybody up to date. Team Fusion, evening all. How are you? Just about to do a review for SoFi. I think we can start now. Let's have a quick look. Right. Okay. Okay, let's go straight into it, shall we? Chart, okay. Right. Who is the oil expert, Martin? Stephen Lewandowski. He's right above you in the chat. That couldn't have been better, could it? Right. Here we go, SoFi, cue it up. Okay. Let's get ready to rock and roll. Here we go. Time for another stock review, this time SoFi. Now, we've done this one in the past, so this is going to be interesting to see how my opinions, if at all, have changed from my previous review. In this review, we are going to take a look at SoFi to see if you can make money, see if it's going to go up or down. We've got lots to talk about. We're going to cover the news. We're going to go over the numbers. So let's, without further ado, get straight into it. In this review, we're going to look to see how you can trade the stock. There's the information there. We're going to look at the intrinsic value. We're going to look at the balance sheet, the profit, the loss, the solvency, who's buying on the inside. We're going to go and have a look at the website if you're not familiar with the company. SoFi, we're going to take a look at some latest news. We've got student loan forgiveness. What's going on with SoFi? A lot of people are asking what is going on. What is going on is very, very clear to me. We're going to compare to a back test to the S&P 500. All of that's coming up in this review. Bearing in mind, as always, I only own the S&P. I'm completely impartial. No one pays me from the companies to make these reviews. I do them for free. I could get paid to do them in all kinds of ways, but I don't. I do them for my members. If you're a member of my channel, you can have a review just like this. So let's get straight into it without further ado. Also, this will accompany the Meet the CEO series. We'd love to have the CEO on the show. That would be an interesting one, as my last review was very critical. But let's see what we can do with SoFi today. All right, so for those of you who are unfamiliar, we'll start at the beginning. Please tap the like button if you like if you like reviews and stock reviews, and also a bit of entertainment as well. We like to have fun with it. If you have fun making money, you always make money. You just stay at the right frame of mind. Click subscribe and ring the bell. We go live 12 hours a day and provide you with the best, most honest live service. This video is being made during a live show, so there's no editing. It is as it is. I'm reading it for the first time. I don't go back and jiggle it about. I just do it as I find it. Okay, let's start from the very beginning. What is SoFi? Let's have a look at it. It's a fintech. It's finance tech. And NASDAQ and tech is all down now because we're going through a rotation. But that's not really the story for this stock, of course, because we've been down now for a while. As you can see, the stock opened here, went public here back in 2020. So it's 4 years old from public. And you can see it's a very, very, very volatile stock. It's a trader's dream. However, traders' dreams very often turn to nightmares because the stock just keeps on trending down over a period of time. So let's take a further look at what the stock is. Let's have a look. SoFi Technologies is a financial services platform which engages in the provision of student loan refinancing options to the private student loan market. It offers home loans, personal loans, credit card. It operates through the following segments: lending, technology platform, and financial services. The lending segment includes personal loans, student loans, home loans, product-related and servicing activities. The technology platform segment focuses on technology products and solutions revenue. The financial services segment includes SoFi Money product, SoFi Invest product, SoFi Credit Card product, and SoFi Relay Personal Finance Management product, and other financial services such as lead generation and content for other financial services institutions. The company was founded in 2011 and is headquartered in San Francisco, California. The listed name is SoFi. Okay, there you go. You can see there 2011, San Francisco. 4,400 employees. Sounds rather a lot for a company like this. You'd think they'd be a bit trimmer on numbers. Anthony J. Noto, we'll be talking about Anthony shortly. Now, this does accompany the Meet the CEO series. Love to have Anthony on the show. If you would like to have Anthony on the show, and if Anthony or anyone from the company is watching, I never email and offer my services. However, we can rank number 1 or 2 for this stock on YouTube, and we can bring your story to the world. I never message you because I don't sell my services. However, those watching right now, if you are an investor in this company and you'd like to get them on the show because you want their story to be told to the world, and perhaps you want them to correct my opinions or update me or inform me or educate me, thereby educating our audience, please do email them at investor relations. You'll find that on their website, and tell them you're an investor, tell them that you're interested in their company and you'd love to see them on the show. Build up a relationship, and then if you want to copy me in, martyn@martynlucas.com, you can. But it's down to you. Build the relationship. I won't get involved until they are talking to you and want to build a relationship with you, and then they might want to speak to me and be on the show. That's how we do it. All right, so let's have a look here. If you're buying it on margin, it's 30%, so it's regarded as fairly safe. 25% is the lowest, 100% is the highest. There you go. 7.92 billion is the market cap. High today 761, 52-week high 1170, low today 731, and the 52-week low is 615. So there's some volatility there, as you can see. Average volume 44. This is a very highly traded stock, as you can see. It's got high volume, 26 million today. People use it to trade in and out. Is it a good investment or is it a trading stock? They are very, very different. Some are like casinos, and I'm an investor. I like to own the businesses and keep them forever and never sell. That's me. Right, let's scroll down to here to a new feature that we're getting here on Robinhood. So I'm going to share this new feature with you. It's pretty cool. So let's have a look at it as we move down. trending trades. First of all, Morningstar give this a hold, or a 22% is the buy. Only 17% say sell. But again, Morningstar are paid to give these reviews. I am not. The bulls say the Galileo acquisition was likely a major win, as the major number of accounts using its platform has risen sharply. The bears say, there we go. The bears say many of SoFi's products and services are the result of partnerships or easy to replicate. And that is one of the key points I'll come on to in a minute. Creating the risk of, and we might as well just look at what that is, creating the risk of future competition. Indeed, I'll come on to that in a moment. Right. We've got the Robinhood. This is the platform I'm using right now, and you can see the trends right now. Our customers' sell volume percentage decreased by 10%, so the selling is going down on the last trading day, but you can see in the last few days there's been some selling. People taking their profits as the Nasdaq has been going down. The rotation out of tech into low quality cap stocks, not a good idea in my opinion, but that's what people do. It presents me, an investor, the opportunity to buy great businesses at a discount. I love doing it. I own the businesses. I never sell them. I just keep adding more and more. So it's always a great opportunity for me. Right. That's what Robinhood are doing. What about hedge funders? Hedge funders, we've just got a recent buy, a steep buy. There you go. There's the money. Retail investors dump, and institutions pick up. There you go. I prefer to be in the institutions camp, even though I'm obviously a retail investor. Hedge fund owners of SoFi increased by 14.2 million shares in Q4. There you go. That is very, very important. And if we look and see who those hedge funders are, we can see massive position moving in there. Buys, ARK Invest, Cathie Wood. Cathie Wood is back. Now, Cathie Wood is great, but she's very good at manipulating the market. Tesla's the greatest thing to buy until she dumps it. Tesla's the worst thing to buy until she buys it. I mean, it's just ridiculous, some of these things. But there you go. But even so, Cathie Wood has just been buying. So you can see the change there, 723%. So she's all in. Institutions buying. What else have we got that's worth mentioning? Entry Point Capital buy, 16,000, only a very small position there. Nothing else major. The major headline there is Cathie Wood. What about insiders? Insiders have been selling. So as it got dumped, Cathie Wood picked it up. Isn't that how this game goes? Insiders have been taking profits, and then it drives it down, and then it gets bought back. That's just the nature of the game. All right, okay. And we can see CTO, uninformative sell. Now, this is important to say this. An automatic sell means it's not sentiment. It's simply could be a tax position or whatever. And you can see the buys underneath there, accumulation of shares via grant or reward. So insiders aren't actually doing anything. That's important, all right? Insiders are either selling. Sorry, these are all buys, I beg your pardon. They're buys due to stock options. That's not, we love the stock, we're putting our own money in it, we're going to remortgage the house and buy stock. We're getting paid basically in shares. That's all that is. And also we've got automatic sell transactions, very small, but that is just tax position. They don't even know they're doing it. So there's no real negative story there from insiders selling. There is some selling going on, but nothing really major to talk about, which is good, right? That's good. Let's carry on with SoFi. I think I've covered all I need to on this page here. Yeah. Oh, let's go and look at this final part here. Economic moat, none, which means their margins are minimal and there's no room for error. Fair value, $13. I will tell you what the fair value is in a minute, and we're at 751. So that suggests it's undervalued. I'll tell you if it's undervalued in a minute. Uncertainty, very high. Yes, and I'll tell you why it's uncertainty is very high. Stewardship, standard. I would have said poor, but I'll explain why I think it's poor. What about the earnings? Okay, so we've got earnings here. Excuse me. As you can see, earnings has been moving up steadily. Very nice indeed. July the 30th is SoFi's earnings. If anyone wants me to cover SoFi earnings, become a member, do a super chat for a minimum of $10 and I will cover it. At the moment, let's have a look. Is July 30th available? It's pre-market. July 30th, pre-market. It is available if somebody wants to book that spot. Once it's gone, it's gone. That's it. I can't do any more reviews. I can do 3. I can actually do 2 a day because our extra channel can do the doubles. But if you want it, do a super chat or a super thanks to this video when it comes out and say you want the SoFi earnings and I will cover it for you. That will be your very own earnings. Right, so if they beat on earnings, that would be very, very nice. Would be cash positive and the business would be improving. Okay, that's the basic introduction to the stock. Let's now move on further in until we get deeper into the numbers as we get towards the end of the video. If you like it so far, please do click like and subscribe and ring the bell. That would be very much appreciated. All right, so first of all, there's no dividend here. This is just a growth stock. Before I give you the news, the numbers, the inside trading, the balance sheet, the profit and loss, let me first of all track back to my original review. So far, until I look at the numbers, I haven't looked at the numbers yet, but at the moment, my opinion stays the same. My opinion is this is not a good investment. This is a trading position. Cathie Wood is not an investor. Cathie Wood is a trader. We've seen it all the time. She'll tell you that Tesla's the greatest thing in the world and dump it. She'll tell you that SoFi is the greatest thing in the world. She'll dump it. She'll tell you that Robinhood's the greatest thing in the world. She'll dump it. She does it all the time. So I don't go on what she says or what she does. And you can see from the very charts, that's how it trades. So number one, it's a trading stock that's trading down. Also, as mentioned in the Morningstar information, and I totally agree, there is nothing proprietary and unique about this. I only buy unique and proprietary businesses. I like Apple because no one else can be Apple. I like Tesla. No one else is Tesla. No one else is Coca-Cola. You get the idea. A business that can be just like for example, Netflix. I would never buy Netflix because anyone can do it. It's not that difficult. I say, of course, it's difficult to actually execute, but where there's a will, there's a way. You could be a Netflix, right? So, and SoFi is one of those. I prefer Robinhood because even though Robinhood's a brokerage, so is SoFi. They don't do lending the same way as SoFi do, but they do margin, and there's other products coming down the line. I prefer. If you're buying a fintech, I prefer Robinhood, miles ahead of SoFi. The final thing is when you buy a business, not a share price. The share doesn't care. You own it. There's no emotion attached. You are buying a business. And if you can't own a business for more than 5 years, it's got no place in my portfolio. I can't buy it. So when I look at SoFi, I look at the people that run the business. Now, the CEO talks absolute rubbish. I remember it was a couple of years ago when he was the only person saying that interest rates are coming down and inflation and on all these things. It was completely barking mad, wasn't even close to accurate, and nobody in the industry was agreeing with what he was saying. It was absolute nonsense, and as it's been proven out, it was all nonsense. However, people forget very, very quickly what people said. People can say all kinds of rubbish, and people forget, and people have forgotten. But I haven't, because I cover all the earnings, I cover all the reports, and I do the reviews, and I remember everything because it's all recorded. So he has no idea of how the markets work. Now, this is not only a publicly traded company, it's a financial company. So if you've got someone running the company that doesn't understand money, then that ain't very clever. And in my opinion, he hasn't, because he couldn't read the markets. I made a prediction 18 months ago that rates would come down the summer of 2024. Before anyone, before the banks, before anyone. And I was absolutely spot on. You might say, well, hang on, it hasn't come down yet. It's about to. It's imminent. It's definitely going to come down in September. It might come down this month, next week. All right? 100%. Because I understand how the markets work. Maybe he does too, but he wanted to manipulate the stock. The stock clearly is a manipulated stock. It's not an investable stock. It's up and down like a yo-yo. And I'm not saying this to grind an axe with anyone or fall out with anyone. I'm here, though, to provide information, in my opinion, based upon facts, based upon numbers, based upon what people say, for the benefit of my members, period. Not to gain subscribers, not to gain friends, not to gain more people to follow my channel. I couldn't care less. What I do care about is doing the right thing for my members and providing them with information. So no one seems to believe in the company themselves, because no one very rarely owns this stock. They just trade it in and out. So straight away, I would never touch this stock again, no matter what the numbers were, until the CEO was replaced. A bit like Virgin Galactic, rubbish management, potentially a good product, but that's as far as it goes. Right, let me now look at the numbers. We've got SoFi here in green, and we've got the S&P in blue. So if you put $10,000 in 2021 in the S&P, a very, very safe conservative stock, you've made $5,000. Okay, fair enough. What about SoFi? You've lost half your money. It's gone from 10 grand to 5 grand. Remember, this is a money stock, a finance stock. It makes money out of money, except the shareholders don't make any money. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense, right? Lost half its money. Okay. What about March 2020? We can't go that far back. I will remember, though, it did pop earlier after COVID, because fintechs did. Everybody was buying Tesla. I know it's not a fintech. Everyone was buying Tesla. Everyone was buying Robinhood at the time, getting into GameStop with Robinhood until they didn't. And people had stimulus checks and thought anything sexy and cool or new was great to buy. Well, we saw what happened. Up it went, and straight back down again. COVID plays are the worst. You want to see that a stock can retain its valuation throughout that period. It's never really recovered since then. It just trades in and out, in and out. Even the people that work there just sell it in and out. Right, there is that. Let's look at the this here. Again, I don't like stocks that are politically related. That's why I wouldn't invest in Rumble. It's why I wouldn't invest in DWAC. Anything that is a popularity contest for one side of a political argument. So when it wins, it makes money. When it loses money, right? I want a business that can make money regardless of politics. It always makes business. It always makes money because it's sound, it's reliable, it's managed properly, it's well-funded, it's proprietary, it's unique, and it just simply makes money. SoFi falls on new student loan forgiveness plans. Again, politics has come into this now, and of course, that affects the stock. Can't buy a business that that benefits from one political side of the argument. That to me is borderline stupid. It's borderline gambling. SoFi stock slipped Thursday after the government announced it would forgive up to $1.2 billion in additional student loans. Well, of course, SoFi just lose a ton of money because someone in government has made an announcement. That cannot be a good idea, can it? So how can you buy the stock? 1 minute it's great news, next minute it's bad news. No, rubbish. Indeed, the news snapped SoFi's 7-day winning streak in the stock market. Now, it probably went up because on the rumor that would happen, so people bought it to dump it to take profits, and here we go again. It's a trading, gambling stock. So what exactly does this mean for SoFi? Well, if its stock price movement is any indicator, it may be a bit troublesome for SoFi's bottom line. You're damn right it will be. SoFi could be, we'll come on to the numbers in a minute. SoFi seemingly can't catch a break regarding student loans. They keep having these issues. It's really such a, I don't know why anyone would even set a business up like this. A bank, a regular bank, SoFi is not a full bank. It is partly, but not a full bank. They have many, many more pathways and many more avenues to make money. Whereas if your main thing is student loans, bloody hell, you're relying on students, first of all, to pay those loans back. Of course, if they're government backed, I get it. But if the government changes, situations change, you are vulnerable. I don't think it's a good business model at all. Again, that's why I prefer, even though they do the investment side, that's why I prefer Robinhood. If you Something just crashed into our window. That was a bit weird. I don't know if anybody heard that. I think an asteroid just crashed into our house. Very strange. Very bizarre. Sorry about that. Anyway, carrying on. So yeah, I'd rather own Robinhood. I hope that's where I was. Unfortunately, the Biden administration has repeatedly implemented student loan forgiveness packages. Oh, I hear what it is. That the lawn crew are here throwing around bits and pieces. Anyway, curbing SoFi's once largest revenue stream. Analysts are somewhat divided on SoFi stock. While the company has found other ways to earn aside from student loans, some analysts believe the company will face headwinds related to worsening credit quality of its balance sheet. Exactly, credit quality. Who the hell wants to loan people? I mean, that's the highest risk people. I would rather, not being funny, but if I'm a bank and I'm lending people money, I'd rather lend it to the richest people rather than students. No disrespect to students. We're not. This is not the make friends channel. This is the investment channel, right? This is a business channel, right? And we want to buy a business. Nothing wrong with students. We were all students once. But would you lend money to a student? I wouldn't. No disrespect to students. Don't unsubscribe to me. In fact, you can do what you want. I'm not bothered. But we're here to give information to investors. It's obviously a risky business, and it's also got government risk. Anyway, what's going on with SoFi technology stock? Another bit of news here. Before I come on to the numbers, let me have a look at this one. Yes, student loans, we've already covered that. We know all about that. Right. Let's now look at the website. Just so you know the business you're buying. This is the business. I don't particularly like the website. I think it's cluttered. I'm not really a fan of it. It doesn't really appeal to anyone specifically. It's not a student-friendly app it just looks a bit silly. If that's just me. I mean, maybe I'm being critical there. Doesn't really matter, but I just don't like the way it looks. But that's just my opinion. That's not important, really. Anyway, let's move on to the numbers, okay? Let's see if we can make some money out of this stock. If you are a trader, I've already said as an investor, I wouldn't buy it because of so many fundamental conditions. Anyway, let's have a look. Here it says, undervalued. So straight away, you'd look at that and go, hang on, this is great. 26% undervalued. Now, it's a growth stock. It is a growth stock. It's undervalued at the moment. It's had a bit of a sell-off recently, of course, on the basis of this news. It's up on the week, but it's dropped off over the last couple of days. So it was, if I just look at it, it was a couple of days ago, 7.95. It's now 7.52. It's saying here that it's undervalued. Base case. Best case, it's undervalued by 57%. Sounds great. Worst case, 7.75. Undervalued by 3%. Now, unfortunately, a lot of retail investors who don't read balance sheets are happy with that. They will look at that and go, great. But we remember, we've seen Fisker, which went bankrupt. It's worth zero, having a $300 valuation. Intrinsic values are okay, but they have to be accompanied by balance sheets, fundamentals, management study, principles, and so on and so forth, and understanding of the market. But some people will just look at that and go, it's undervalued, I'm buying it. Like it will say, of course, on Morningstar, very basic information. Let's buy this, it's on Robinhood, it's cheap. No, it isn't cheap. Let's scroll down and discover why. If we scroll down here and we look at its financials, let's be honest, financials are important if you buy investing. It's up 13%. Very nice, and we've had a steady growth. Very, very good indeed. March 30th, we're now waiting for the next earnings, and we'll see where it goes. Up 13%. We've had steady growth. However, interest rates are about to come down. This business is about to lose some of its income. Interest rates will come down. Now, that does also mean delinquent and defaults will get less. If rates are lower, more likely people can pay their bills. There's an upside. Banks make money when rates come down as well as going up because they often get less delinquent accounts. Very, very important to note that, right? We've got non-interest income. Non-interest income. So that has been declining. Most recent report is up slightly, 0.7, but it has been declining. Non-interest income has been declining. So we are soon about to get interest income drop. So if interest income drops, non-interest income is dropping, then you're in trouble. Okay? This should be increasing now, and it's not. It's coming down. I know we've got a slight uptick of 0.7, but that really isn't really that good. Net income is up 36%. Net income is up 36%, but it's still negative. All right? Negative of 218 million. Okay? Gross income and is very different than the net income. Okay? 31 billion in assets. Very nice indeed. 31 billion in assets, of which 23 billion is in loans. Right. Okay, great. So we're lending out 23 billion in loans. That equates to 74%. Their business is all lending money out. They often talk about their brokerage, other things. They make money on this and the other. Nothing of any relevance at all. It's just a lending business. 74% is lending money out. They'll tell you when you speak to them, everything's great, everything's increasing and all the rest of it. Well, only as long as you're getting your debt serviced and we talked about forgiveness and so on. But that's how they make their money. They don't make the money. Everything else is decreasing. They're supposed to be making money on their credit cards. They're supposed to be making money on their investment platform. None of that really makes any real money. The biggest money is the loans. So liabilities, 25 billion. This is the other side of the balance sheet. And we've got long-term debt is nearly 3 billion, 2.9. Now that isn't too bad out of 25 billion. But 2.9 billion is debt. Now, of course, that's going to be improved because long-term debt is 11.5. Okay? That's good when rates come down. But that balance sheet isn't that great. Our liabilities is very close to our assets. And because all our money is being made on loans and loans are being forgiven and rates are coming down and we've seen everything else, this doesn't look good for the future of SoFi. Efficiency, 7%. Very, very low margin. We talked about the moat. There is none. Morningstar, who are paid to say good things. Not technically paid to say good things, but you know what I mean. People would want a good review, right? They're paid to do it. 7% margin. There's no margin. No margin for error. No moat. Slightest reduction, boom, we're in trouble. You know, the company doesn't make anything, doesn't build anything, doesn't sell anything. It makes money because you pay them interest. Interest rates going down, delinquent payments. And remember, even though the stock market has been doing well, the economy hasn't. And people are now going to feel for the next year or two the pain of the rates that were up all this time. There's a lagging effect. And people are still going to struggle over the next couple of years. They're not going to suddenly feel rich over the next 2 years, all right? Okay. Now, of course, we have an election coming up. Maybe Donald Trump will turn around and say, we're not forgiving all the loans. And maybe. Who knows? I don't know. You could bet on that if you want. A net margin, down 10%, negative 10%. ROA, a negative 1%. And ROE, negative 4%. What do Wall Street think of this? Well, worst case scenario, 46% downside. Well, that's a bankrupt stock. You can't buy a stock and lose half your money. You've already lost half your money. You lose half your money again. You're down to nothing, right? That's no good. What about on the average? 18%, no point. You can make 10%, 13% on the S&P. What's the point of risking a business that's all about lending money out with the macro condition worsening when you can make that sort of money on the S&P? Well, you could turn around and say, well, what about the best case scenario? What's the best case scenario? Best case scenario, that debts aren't forgiven or whatever. Donald Trump gets in and says the opposite could happen. You want to, I mean, that's gambling. That then is not investing. That's gambling on an election outcome. I never think that's a good idea. I like to own businesses regardless of the election. So I don't like that. So that doesn't interest me. It's great if it's up, but we've just seen how there are more decreasing values, and this could be done a few days ago before this recent round. So anyway, there's that. The competition. Now, if you like this sector, Capital One, Discover, Synchrony Financial, there are other businesses in the sector. If you like fintech, there are alternatives. If you want to know how they perform, and you should compare, because if you're going to buy this, you might say, well, how does Capital One compare? What are their margins? What's their balance sheet looking like? What's their numbers? You click on this, you can all use my software. All my members get access to this. The link is below in the description, Alpha Spread, or on martynlucas.com, my website. Look for all links. Find this, and all my members get access to this for free, or a premium plan where you can do what I'm doing here and basically get a discount so good it makes my membership for free. Okay, we always give you the best deals. Insiders selling. Now, we were talking about it a short while ago. It does look bad. And this is where I'm trying to be impartial. I'm always balanced. If the news is bad, it's bad. I don't care. If it's good, equally, I don't care. I just tell you what it is. But insiders selling, initially, you look at that and go, well, that's rubbish. Everyone's selling. I don't want to buy this. However, we need to be clear. We've just looked at the trades. They are automatic trades, the majority, but nevertheless, it is selling nevertheless. They can always turn those off and not sell their positions, but they are. And to give you some numbers, they bought 1.3 million in the last 3 months and sold 140 million. So it's nothing insignificant, but it's worth noting that they were a lot of auto trades, which aren't necessarily sentiment. Okay, now I'm not the only one, and remember, I've never shorted a stock in my life. I've never done options. However, a lot of people are short in this stock. Even now, feel it can go a lot lower, 18.6%. Now then, what would create a short squeeze? A short squeeze would be a minimum of 20%, somewhere between 20 and 100. 20 is excessive. 100 is virtually guaranteed it is guaranteed. It's a short squeeze at 100%. But 18% is getting to the point of a short squeeze, but there's not enough volume in the upward direction. People buying it because there's no real reason to buy it now. There's every reason to sell it. So you're more likely to get more short interest. What would be the good news? Well, a reversal of policy. Will Donald Trump do the opposite? Are interest rates going to stay high? No. Are they going to make any money? Nothing else makes them money from loans. Worsening economy, which there will be, so more people will be delinquent and not pay and default. So it's negative there as well. Let's have a look. 1 week ago, SoFi, Anthony Noto. This guy here talks rubbish. He says things to promote. Remember, and this is important, anyone can set up a company. There's no qualification to setting up a company other than you've got some money and you've followed all the rules. You could be a terrible person. You could be barking mad. You could be absolutely an idiot. Anyone can set up a business. Okay? There's no rule, there's no qualification to being a decent person or telling the truth. A lot of people are very decent people who set up businesses. Some people set up businesses to manipulate the market, like forget his name now, the Mullen CEO, David Mitchery. We get lots of CEOs who set up businesses to just take from investors. We've seen that happen with Virgin Orbit. We're seeing that now happen with Virgin Galactic. Many companies take money out of people. Chamath, people don't trust him anymore. Many people do the wrong thing. They're not necessarily trying to build or create something. They're just trying to make themselves money, and they don't always get away with it. So let's have a little listen. This is quite relevant. Just a few moments. What he had to say, because this is just a few days ago. Here we go.
SoFi, thanks so much for joining us here. Before we talk about your business, I want to talk more big picture about the conversation here in Sun Valley, specifically about the state of the economy, given your purview through your business, as well as the conversations you've been having with other CEOs. What's your sense of the economy right now?
Yeah, I'd say the conversation really kind of pivots around 2 points. One is, where's the consumer, how they...
And there's a very good reason why she asked that question. This man is famous for making this ridiculous prediction about the economy. He made one of the worst. It was like Liz Truss, and the worst prime minister in England ever. He was probably the worst ever, and that's probably why this researcher has opened with that. Give us your view on the economy. Seeing what he has to say.
They performing from a credit standpoint and where interest rates going in the economy. On the interest rate point, we came out of Q1 having reported 26% year-over-year revenue growth with really no growth in our lending business, which is a really strong quarter, and we're really pleased with how things have gone since then. We've came out of that quarter thinking there'd be 1 to 2 rate cuts and positioned our business to do that, which would give us still attractive revenue growth, maintaining profitability, but just as importantly, having a strong balance sheet to take advantage of when rates go down. I think the consensus view is starting to come into picture, and people believe we'll continue to get the data points on inflation, continue to see an uptick in unemployment, but not too bad, and we'll have 1 to 2 rate cuts by the end of the year, which would be really positive.
So he just said 1 or 2 rate cuts by the end of the year. That is correct. Possibly 3, actually. That's correct. However, he was saying 2, 3, 4 rate cuts about 2 years ago. People forget what he said. I don't forget. I cover all the earnings. I cover all the reports. I don't miss a trick. He hasn't reminded us that he's been saying rate cuts forever. Eventually you're going to get right, okay? The difference is I said 18 months ago rates would come down this summer, not 2 years ago, and keep saying it on every report to try to get you to buy my stock.
As it relates to the consumer, we've seen really good trends in spending. We've seen really strong demand for refinancing personal loans as people are trying to lower their debt so they can make sure they're planning for the future. So overall, our companies performed.
That's not correct. Lower their debt. Debts are actually increasing. More people now in the United States are in debt than there have been for a very long time. So that's the opposite way around.
Really well in this environment. I'm glad we took the stance of lower rate cuts than everyone else because it's positioned us now to benefit when rates start to come down. So I like how we're positioned. And for the first time, I'd say in 2 years, there's a more central consensus view about rates and where credit is. And credit actually has performed relatively well throughout the year. And that's something I heard from a couple CEOs last night. And we're really happy with where it's performed as well, in line with our tolerance levels and our expectations. So all in all, I think we're setting up for a pretty strong back half of the year in 2025 if we get the right fiscal policy.
Well, we're going to talk more about fiscal policy in a minute, but I just want to return to something you said. I know you've been introducing new things.
Like he said, if we get the right fiscal policy, sadly, you have not got the right fiscal policy. So that's not, and obviously he's aware of that.
Such as alternative investments, but also you mentioned you're not doing as many student loans. What is behind that policy, and where are you shifting your focus to effectively follow or lead consumers and where you want to be growing the business?
Sure. As we came into 2024, there was a view that actually rates would be cut 4 or 5 times. And we believed that for rates to be cut that frequently, there would have to be a recession or some type of underlying problem. It turns out we'll get 1 to 2 rate cuts, which is where we've been positioned. And as we thought about the environment and thought about how much we invested in our financial services business,
can I rewind that?
Frequently, there would have to be a recession or some type of underlying problem. It turns out we'll get 1 to 2 rate cuts, which is where we've been positioned. And as we thought about the environment and thought about how much we invested in our financial services business, our SoFi Money product, our SoFi Invest product, our credit card product, as well as our technology platform, we had an opportunity to drive really strong growth there.
I have to correct him there. Getting more rate cuts does not mean we're likely to get a recession at all. That's not an indication of that at all. If the economy has cooled, we can afford to lower rates. The purpose of raising rates was to cool the economy. When the economy starts to cool, inflation comes down, we can afford to bring rates down. We can continue to bring rates down. We're not bringing more rates down necessarily because we're going into recession. It's to avoid recession, but it's not indicative that we are doing that because we're going into a recession. I want to just comment. This is the person who asked me to make this video. You can't compare Mullen to SoFi. I didn't, Robbie Cooper, and I want to be clear. This is Robbie, one of our members, who asked me to do the review. I am not comparing Mullen to SoFi. They are very, very different businesses, very different balance sheets. Mullen is an all-out scam stock. SoFi is potentially a good business. I'm simply saying it's not a good investment right now, and I don't think the CEO is up to it, if I'm honest. So I'm not comparing. What I'm simply saying is that CEOs aren't always the best CEOs, don't always do a good job for their businesses. And if I may say, if he was great and the business was great, we wouldn't be looking at this, would we? You have to judge by performance. You have to have high standards. The standards couldn't be much worse. So the CEO hasn't performed, has he? So we need to be clear on that. And you saying here, rate cuts is out of his hands, though. Correct. Rate cuts are out of his hands. So he needs to build a business that isn't just about student loans. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. They've tried and it hasn't happened. People aren't taking up the other services enough that they would like. They'll tell you they are, but obviously they're not. I've just shown you the numbers. And we all thought it was going down a couple of years ago. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. I didn't say rates were coming down 2 years ago, and nobody was. The banks were not saying that. The Fed was not saying that. I don't know who was saying that, but nobody was saying 2 years ago that rates are going to be coming down. Absolutely not. And you can check all my videos and see I most certainly was not saying that. So let's be absolutely clear. Let's be absolutely clear there. Let's hear a little bit more.
At 50%. And really pull back in the lending business to be more conservative, to wait to see where the economy shakes out, where interest rates shake out. And now we're coming into a picture where that's a lot clearer. So we've delivered really strong growth without really using the lending business to help drive it. And now we're in a position where, as we go into 2025, to use both.
No, that's not true. We've just seen the balance sheet. The majority of the money has been made during lending, not the other services. We can see the balance sheet. We're looking at the numbers. A lot of retail investors will not look at balance sheets. They will just think this is a really cool thing. They use it, so they invest in it. That is not the case. You are not building a business outside of lending. I think the lending, was it 74% of their income? So that is not true.
Of course, your business all started with student loans. And then just last week, a federal appeals court allowed a key part of Biden's student loan repayment plan to resume, staying in an order that had temporarily blocked it. Now, there's been a lot of back and forth on this. But how does Biden's efforts to repay student loans impact your business? And how do you see some of these legal changes and sort of the whole appeals process and the outcomes impacting your business going forward?
Yeah, we've really focused on people that have private student loans. Those are people that are still managing their cost and giving them cost savings on refinancing their private student loans, and that's been a smart strategy. It's a much smaller percent of our business. We gave guidance that we'll do close to $2.5 billion of revenue this year. We'll see really strong growth from the other businesses, so we're much less dependent on it. The fact that we grew 26% year over year in Q1 with no growth in lending overall is a great indication that we've invested in other areas that are really paying off for us. And the response that we're seeing for consumers in our SoFi Money product with 4.6% interest rate, SoFi Invest product, as you mentioned, offering them alternative assets, and now IPO.
Whoa. 4.6% interest rate. Robinhood offer 5.25. In fact, you can get 4.65 at the Bank of America. Banks offer rubbish rates compared to online, so they're way behind. They're way behind the competition there. Robinhood is 5.25, so we shouldn't be celebrating that fact.
We've seen a great response there, and it's allowed us to go after other growth areas and not be so vulnerable to the whims of where the political winds are blowing as it relates to student loans. I will say this: we've done well with a high rate environment and uncertainty around credit. I'm really excited about what will happen when rates start to come down, and you can start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. When rates come down, we'll see a real pickup in student loan refinancing. Right now, there are people with rates at 7 to 8% student loans, but we only can offer them in the 6s. As rates come down, we can start to offer them in the low 5s and maybe in high 4s. So that business will pick up. Our home loan business had historically been a refinancing business. We've invested a lot in being able to do purchase home loans, and we're now seeing that pick up and gaining market share there. And we've recently made the decision on home equity lines to give people even lower costs of debt. So as rates come down, we'll see a real pickup, and as long as the economy is stable and inflation is stable.
So you've mentioned various ways that your business is growing, but your stock is way down. Stock is down about 35% year to date, down about 19% since your last earnings report. I know that you have earnings coming up in a few weeks, so you're limited in terms of how many specifics you can share. But what's your message to investors? Why should they hold on when the stock is down so dramatically?
Yeah. The thing that we can control is our strategy and our execution. And for the last 7.5 years, our strategy has been consistent and our execution has been consistent. We've driven good, steady growth. When I joined the company, we had less than $300 million of revenue in 2018. Now we're over $2 billion of revenue. We weren't generating profits. We weren't generating positive EBITDA. Now we're generating both positive EBITDA and GAAP profitability. So I'm really pleased with what we're doing. In terms of the stock, I'm equally disappointed. I'm a big investor. Our employees are large investors. What we've seen and what we believe is happening is that the group of fintech companies that have credit exposure has been really hit hard. And they've been hit hard because of the uncertainty around interest rates. When will interest rates peak? And when will credit peak? And as I mentioned, we're really pleased with where credit's performed. We expected it to pick up a little bit, but it's within our tolerance levels. So good sign there. And as I mentioned, 1 to 2 rate cuts would be welcomed and moving in the right direction.
And what about
rate cuts is not going to benefit them enough. And he's keep referring back to these rate cuts. And I understand he can't control that. That's why he said 2 years ago, rates are going to come down. He made wild predictions because he feels if he says it enough times and enough people buy the stock, he can make money out of it. And you can see how it trades. I don't see insiders holding on to their stock as much as they should. It gets traded enough. I don't think there's real belief in this. There's opportunity to tell everybody it's going to be great, so they'll buy in because it's a very young person stock. They won't read balance sheets. They won't look at the numbers. They'll buy this position and it'll get traded out. I'm not buying any of this.
AI? Will SoFi be the one to bring AI to retail banking, and will that really accelerate your results?
Yeah, there's a whole spectrum of technologies that we use every day to ensure that our product is safe, it's reliable, and we can be a trusted partner. Where we want to use AI is to fortify those areas, but we also want to use it to answer 3 questions every day. Because this is a financial show and we operate in a financial world, people want to talk about interest rates and consumer spending. We don't spend a ton of time talking about the product, but we are a product company, and my vision for the product is that you open up SoFi every day and you go to your member home feed just like you would to your Twitter home feed or your Facebook home feed or LinkedIn home feed, but we answer 3 questions for you in a personalized way. What must you do in your financial life that day? What should you do and what can you do? AI allows us to take all the data about you and everyone else and answer those 3 questions.
Just a final question about politics, because I know the conversation about the presidential election is front and center here in Sun Valley. What outcome do you think would be best for the economy and for your business in particular?
Well, you know, I'll make an analogy. I went to West Point and I played football, and I want Navy to win 364 days of the year. But on that one day when they play Army, I want Army to win. And so I'd be lying to you and being, less than disingenuous if I didn't say our business would benefit from a Republican administration. There's more capital markets activity. There's more M&A activity. I want our country to be very strong and vibrant. And on one particular day, I'll be rooting for one particular party.
Okay, very, very good indeed. It's good to hear what he had to say. Let's look at, and he's right there, of course, tech, fintech, money, finance, all benefits, all prefers a Republican government. There's no question about that. He's right there. Right, let's look at the last 90 days. 62% sentiment, good. Last 30 days, that's decreased to 60%. Last 7 days, 66%. And today, no news. So sentiment is looking good. What else can we report on? I think that's pretty much it. You might like to look. I don't know if I have my my reviews here. I did a review for this. Load more. It's been a long time, actually, since I did it. Let me see. No, it goes back too far. It was a long time ago. SoFi. I can't even see it now. I did a review. You could have gone and checked this out, but you could compare what I said then to what I say now. Let me just scroll up. Maybe I missed it. Didn't think it was that long ago. Maybe, oh, yeah, it's certainly more than 2 months. All right, okay. Anyway, there is my thoughts on SoFi. This was requested by Robbie Cooper. Oh, I'm just going to answer this. Someone has just come in here. Let me have a look at it. Robbie Cooper says... hang on, let me start here. Martyn Lucas, the SoFi CEO seems to be lying his way through the interview. Maybe he should run for president. I'm not commenting on that, of course. But yeah, you could tell that. That was a very uncomfortable interview. I didn't buy heart. Well, you know what I said because I reacted to it. But it's interesting that you picked up on that as well. I appreciate you covering this, Martyn. I'm for healthy debate. Absolutely right. Debate, discussion, and numbers and facts is what it's all about. Whether you agree or not is entirely up to you. I agree. There is so much more to their business than lending. Lending is a small part of it. It's not. You cannot say that, Robbie Cooper, when I've just shown you the balance sheet. I've just shown you the numbers, right? So we can sit here all day and debate how great the app is, the website, whether you like it, whether you don't. That's fine. And you like lots of things. However, you can see 74% of their income is done through loans. That is not made up. That is a balance sheet. And we know, because we have done research, and we know most retail investors, they've told me, and we had an 86% vote, do not read balance sheets. They go off trends on Twitter, trends on Reddit, and that intrinsic valuation. It's quick, it's easy. My mate said down in the pub I should buy it. It looks really cool. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. You might get it right now and again. However, the reality is, their business right now is loans. Simple facts. I don't care whether anyone buys it, likes it. It doesn't bother me, but I'm doing a review for you because you've asked me to, so I'm telling you the truth. You don't have to agree, and that's fine. But that is the facts. Grippy, you are missing the technology side. Alpha spread ain't accurate. Yes, it is. Galileo is going to be huge. Robinhood is just one example who use them. Correct. They are now profitable and institutional ownership is increasing. Yes, I've said that. I pointed out the institutional investments. I've said that. Don't disagree with you. But you are missing the technology side. It doesn't matter about your opinion on the technology. What matters is, can they make money from it? Can you make money as an investor? That is what's important. I am trying to share information for you to make a judgment as an investor. Not, hey, the technology is cool and they've got AI and they've got dancing robots. I don't care. Does it make money for me as an investor? My job is to provide you with a review which gives you an accurate review, not to just rattle the rock and roll tin or whatever, or bang the drum. And as far as alpha spread's concerned, not only is it accurate, I've also provided information from the portfolio backtest software. I've also provided information from their own website. I've also provided information from their earnings and their filings with the news and so on and so forth with the government information. So it's been a balanced approach. Plus, I've shown you the insiders. I've shown you the trends and so on. I've also let you hear the interview from himself, the CEO himself. Here we go. Here's one of our big investors. The CEO of SoFi is a liar. He was predicting rate cuts in 2022. There we go. Stephen Lewandowski was with me at the time when he was making wild predictions like that. He was the only person in the space making predictions like that. He was doing it to promote the stock. Please do what you like. Buy the stock, dump the stock, short the stock. I don't care. But know that the CEO isn't accurate. And I invite the CEO onto my show to answer me and have a debate with me and tell me I'm wrong. I am more than happy, and I will play him the videos of him saying such things over and over again. And he's still saying it. He simply follows the trend and just keeps saying what he thinks is going to benefit his stock through Reddit and all of those places. CEO, as described by Stephen Lewandowski, is a liar. He was predicting rate cuts in 2022. Nobody else was was doing that. There we go. Ha ha. He was right. 2 years early. Absolutely. One final comment. Martyn Lucas. That's about a different video. Okay. So there we go. There is my thoughts on SoFi. Pay your money. Take your choice. It's entirely up to you. It's not a stock that I would buy. I can't give it a buy because I invest in businesses. Businesses are the people that run the businesses. Sadly, the CEO either is manipulating the stock, doesn't know what he's talking about, or a bit of both. Either way, that doesn't work for me. And if I was wrong, the stock wouldn't be on its arse. And it is. Click above my head, down below in the description for all the links. Over here, you'll find the full list. Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other. Okay, ring the bell. 3, 2, 1. It's Friday. It's all over for another week. Let's have a look. Let's see who's up, who's down. We're trying to get a bottom of the S&P. Let's have a look. MSK. I watched Trump's RNC speech and totally disagree with your verdict. Okay, well, later on, I'm going to bring out a video showing you all the things he said, his words, not mine, and we're going to discuss it all, piece by piece. Everything I've said is taken from verbatim, word for word what he said, but I'm going to make a video with it so you can see it for yourself. So what is your argument and your disagreement with? I watched Trump's RNC speech and totally disagree with your verdict. If I was shot and stared death in the face, I would devote my speech to those that support me. I appreciate that, but how is that disagreeing with me? That's not disagreeing with me at all, MSK. Let's be absolutely clear about what I said. And I repeat, the first 15, 20 minutes was fantastic. It was all about his experience, how terrible it was to be shot at. I agree. All of that was great. All of that was fantastic. His tribute to the fallen firefighter, all the rest of it, beautiful, wonderful. Opportunity to unite the United States. No doubt about it. However, you've just said, I totally disagree with your verdict. If I was shot at and stared death in the face, I would devote my speech to those that support me. So what exactly are you disagreeing with me on? The fact he spoke to his people? Well, the first 15, 20 minutes, he did just that. He then spoke to the world. Remember, MSK, what this is. This is a nomination acceptance speech. You need to understand that. I'm sure you do. It's an acceptance speech for the nomination. That's what the first 15, 20 minutes was. After that, it was a rally. The people in the room are already on your side. You can finish, end, less is more. They're already on your side. He wasn't trying to get them to agree with him. He was talking to the world to unite the world, because that was the title of his. If you've read the transcript, as I have, the heading of his speech was to unite the United States. It wasn't to rally his own friends in the room. It was to unite, and that's what he wanted to do. That was what his speech was written. It was written for him. He was reading the teleprompter and then went off script. He wasn't supposed to do that. That is not what was agreed by his administration. He then went off. That has nothing to do with making friends in the room. They're already his friends. His idea was to unite the country, which is what the heading of the speech was, and talk to the public and try to win votes, if that was what he wanted to do. Didn't need to, but that's what he wanted to do, obviously. So what is it you disagree with me on? Anyway, yes, agree, MSK. Trump is devoted to the people and trying to better his country. I agree. I am not against Donald Trump. I am not one side of the argument or not. My job is to bring the facts and present it to you based upon facts. That's it. That's all I do, is I report the facts, dissect the facts, present the facts. I am absolutely 100% confident that Donald Trump loves his family, loves his country, and wants what's best. No doubt. No doubt. Absolutely. And I said to Leah, my wife, I admire the fact he walked on stage because the security forces didn't protect him before. I would have been terrified. I don't think I would have wanted to walk on stage. What if there was somebody in the convention with a rifle? Of course, we don't expect there to be, but we didn't expect there to be one outside. So I admire all of that. I admire all of that. However, what I'm saying is, Craig is saying to MSK, yes, agree. He wants to speak to those that support him. Well, he did that. What are we disagreeing on? We're not disagreeing. No one disagrees with that, do they? Appreciate you doing the interview. Robbie Cooper, you're very welcome. I'll sell at the high peak at 10. Yeah, I would take profit and get out because that's what those at the company do. Hence why I am calling out. Hence why I am calling Martyn Lucas Investor out. What are you on about, MSK? I appreciate you doing the video. You're welcome. Hey Vaz, I'm ready for the party. It's nice to see both sides and different opinions regarding the stock. Yeah, I think it's essential. Whether you are deciding who to vote for, whether you're deciding what to invest in, surely you need both sides of the argument and you need both sides of the balance sheet. If you're only looking at one side, then the only loser is going to be you because you're not going to know what the other side says. So my job isn't to rah-rah SoFi. My job is to provide the facts with a review, and then you decide what you want to do with it. What will that video be live? Yes, David. Yes, I'm going to make a video, and I've got all the facts for you, and him saying it, and I will provide all of it to you so you can hear and see for yourself. You cannot get a more clear debate. It will be presented. I will play him, Donald Trump, saying what he wants to say, and then I will give my opinion based upon the evidence, the facts I have in front of me that I've researched and studied and verified, and you can then, decide yourself. Martin, I'll be looking up where you are doing your fact checking also to make sure it's not. No, I agree. I agree with you. I don't actually know what leftist means and fake news because I don't actually know what that means. I had to ask Leah today. I said, a couple of people said, I'm a lefty. What does that mean? I said, is that democratic? She said, yes. I said, it doesn't make any sense. Those that know me know my opinions, and that is not me at all. At all. So I'm just presenting the facts. One of the statements that Donald Trump said during his time in office, there were no wars. I've got a list of 20 things. That was one. That's incorrect. There was about 20 wars going on at the time. And to say there was no wars is silly because there was. And he's also said on day one, when he comes in, the war in Russia will end. Day one. Inflation will come down. Day one. There's a whole list. Both of those other statements are impossible. Absolutely impossible. That's not an opinion. I wish it was true. Oh my God. Absolutely. If Donald Trump comes in tomorrow and the war ends straight away, that'd be brilliant. I'm all for that. Everybody in the world would vote for that, wouldn't they? I mean, it's a no-brainer. unless you're trying to sell bombs to somebody. Anyway, if this person believes in SoFi so much, he should invest every dollar he has and become a billionaire. Whatever happens to financials and facts. Thank you, Tim. Exactly. Robbie Cooper, I agree. I wouldn't go as far as Tim Rogers, though. If you believe in the company, I wouldn't put all your money on it. I wouldn't put billions of dollars on it. Because even if you believe in the company, you can get things wrong. And even if I believe in the S&P 500, but I'm not going to max out I'm not going to remortgage my house because that would be imbalanced and that would be stupid. Even though I believe in the S&P, the American economy, I'm not going to remortgage my house. So I love Tim Rogers, and I agree a lot with what Tim Rogers says, and I get what you're saying, and he's basically backing up what I just said. However, I wouldn't go as far as saying you should put all your money on it, every dollar, because even if you believe in a business, of course, it can go wrong. Outside conditions can occur, and then you lose your money. I believe in SoFi for sure. Long term, it has a lot of potential. Do you? Okay, that's great. Do you believe and do you trust the board? Do you trust the CEO running your company? Because if you buy shares in it, you are trusting him to run your business. If you trust him to run your business and you believe he's giving you the best information, he's not lying, he's telling you the truth, and he understands his business, then great, you should buy it. Do you? I've just proved to you he hasn't got a clue what he's talking about. That's not an opinion, by the way, is it? That's a fact. I've just proved it. If you want to go back and watch one of my SoFi earnings, the very first one, I think it was, you can see him saying it. You can listen to him saying it. As Stephen Lewandowski has pointed out, he was saying it. He's been saying it ever since. Now, some people who watch some of my videos will say, Martyn Lucas has been saying interest rates is going to come down forever. And they'll say something like, a clock is right twice a day. That's like reading a comic book, looking at the pictures and not reading the contents. What I've said repeatedly is I said rates would come down in the summer of 24. I've not been saying every day rates will come down in a minute because that's bloody ridiculous. Well, that's basically what he's been saying. But worse, he's been giving numbers and specifics. I haven't been saying that at all. I've been saying for 18 months the rates would come down in the summer of 24. That is what I'm standing by. And if it doesn't happen, I will be wrong. MSK wants to call into the house. We've got MSK. This is going to be good. This is going to be good. He's looking at me going, oh yeah, this is going to be good. Let me stick him in the green room. And I'll bring him on in a second. Let me get to these last couple of questions. Down after the 0.69 today, but made huge purchase into TPL. What a stock that is. Wait for the video to come out, David. The video will be coming out later on tonight after my music show. Best stock I've ever seen. Best stock I've ever seen, bar none. You are the landlord of the United States. Got to be the best stock, particularly now. MSK, who wants MSK to call in? David Ewan, me. Today is the day to call in. Yes, it is. Impossible to unite everyone, Martin. There are lots of crazed lunatics on the left that would love to see Trump go off the earth. You aren't going to unite them and their crazy views. 100%, 100 plus agendas, etc. I understand where you're coming from. I understand that. Do you think TPL is going to dip? I don't know. I'll come back to you. Me, yes. Mark wants him to come in. Yes. MSK, debate. Crag, yes. Trump is running for presidency to stay out of jail because he will control the DOJ, says Tim Rogers. Bear with me, says MSK. I'm bearing with you. I know tonight is the concert. When will you do the video? And you asked this morning what Let's Go Brandon meant. It rhymes with chanting the other is better than chanting the second. Okay. I don't know anything about chanting, swearing. I don't know anything about that. David, send me a message via Discord and I'll read what you're saying. We're waiting for MSK to call in. When will there be? Well, there was no major wars. Well, hang on a minute. There's no wars and now, well, there's no major wars. No. Let's not do that, Craig. If you're going to say there's no wars, there's no wars. You can't go, well, there was no major wars. What do you mean? How many thousands have to get blown up before we call it a war? Now, come on, Craig. I love you to bits, but if someone says, well, I've been doing this job, there's been no wars in the world, and all the wars started when I left, that's a specific, not, well, the wars were, only a few people got shot, and only a few countries got invaded. That don't matter. You might not read about it on the news in America, but from someone who's traveled the world, who looks all over the world, there's been wars since the beginning of time in every country all the time. There's never been a world peace. Never, ever been a world peace. Fact check. Trump makes more than 20 false claims in RNC acceptance speech. Team Fusion. Trump claimed there is a record inflation under President Joe Biden. He did say that. And of course, that's incorrect because we are now, inflation has been coming down for the last 2 years. And it went up because of COVID. Nobody had anything to do with that. That happened because of COVID. It's come down because COVID is finished. So yes, you are absolutely right, Team Fusion. Trump claimed there is a record inflation under President Joe Biden first. This is false. The current inflation rate is 3% in June 24. It's nowhere near the all-time record of 23% in the 1920s. That is an absolute correct fact. Absolutely correct. There's loads like that, but anyway, thank you very much for that. MSK, you're in the green room. I can't bring you on without a camera. I believe in red on roulette. Why not? Was Trump the first ever president to step foot in North Korea to meet Kim Jong-un? I don't know. It was a major achievement. I think he probably was. I don't know. I would need to find out. Martin, I do have a sense of humor, Robbie. Just be careful. I know you do, Robbie. Tim. Okay, I've got MSK on the phone, all in on 32 black. Fair enough. I agree with you. Reference no wars. But Biden did say, thank you, Mark. Now people are starting to go, okay, yeah, that wasn't true. All right, fair enough. But Biden did say in a debate that he was not the only president not to lose a single serviceman. I don't know. I'm not fact-checking, but Joe Biden right now. I'm sure Joe Biden has made up a load of rubbish as well. I agree. I'm not... give me a speech of Joe Biden. Let's go through it. Right now, I'm talking about Donald Trump's speech. I can't do everyone's speech every 5 minutes. Last comment before we get MSK on the phone. I think it was rhetorical question from Crag. Tell me, when there was no wars, there never was. There never has been a period when there has never been a war. There's always been wars in the world. Right. Anyway, we can debate this all day. But right now, here is the man live on the show, up close and personal. MSK, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you, Martin?
I am good. Lovely to see you. What a great day to have you on the show.
Martin, just to annoy Mike, because he said that he doesn't want Dave Ramsey accent.
Sorry, you're not going with it.
I'm going to go with it. I'm going to be like, hey, Martin, how are you doing today? Ask me how I am.
How are you?
Better than I deserve. How are you doing today, Martin? Come on, that was good.
That was good. I'll give you... Oh, there it was. There it was. I knew it was coming. There it was. Lovely to have you on the show.
You know me.
Lovely to have you on the show. So what can I do for you? Why are you calling me up this fine hour?
You know what? I thought you judged Trump a bit harsh
Okay, please
with
tell
the
me why.
speech, and I do understand your logic. And yeah, he's got his voters, he's got his team, he's got his unity, and you're saying that okay, look, out of all the Democrats right there, I need to figure out a way of getting their votes. But if I was shot 5 days before
Hmm.
and show the courage to give a speech like an hour long, more than an hour. I've heard it was 90 minutes
It was hour and a half. Yeah,
speech. Um, when I know that my life could have been taken away,
correct.
uh, I would appeal to the people that mean most to me, and I don't blame him for that. I
MSK,
feel it
let
was
me
an
let me respond to
emotional
that. Let me
response
respond to
from
that then
him.
in
Yes,
peace.
John. Yeah.
Okay, otherwise we need to just debate the whole thing. I agree with you, and I've said it's an amazing thing. I don't think I could have stood on the stage. I would have been terrified that somebody had a gun there because there was security at that event and still somebody shot him. I have utmost respect. Absolutely incredible thing. Was a moment in history, could have united the whole country. No doubt. We all agree on that.
Yeah.
It was incredible. What he did was amazing. It was a beautiful moment. The thing with the fireman's suit on the mannequin, that's the dead man's very sad uniform. Very sad. Absolutely right. And I agree. He wanted to express emotion and feeling to his friends and his colleagues. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Understandable. But, and we have to say, but, he did that. He did that for 15, 20 minutes. Okay, does that mean he can't talk anymore? Well, no. Talk as long as he wants. It's his moment. It's his party. It's his thing. Absolutely. But we have to have standards. We have to have a sense of purpose. He was there to accept the nomination. It wasn't a rally. It wasn't to get voters in the middle of a field. It was a acceptance speech at the end of a very long day. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
He still wants to share his opinions and thoughts. He did that. What he then went on and did was what Donald Trump does and did a rally of all the things he's achieved and the things that he exaggerated or whatever that weren't factual. That's got nothing to do with getting the love from his people because hang on,
Yeah, okay.
because those people themselves were getting tired and starting to leave. And some of them who were loving the moment, the first 15, 20 minutes, said it went on too long. I'm not talking about the other side. I'm talking about their side. It went on too long. Because remember, not everyone in his party agrees with him. And they were all agreeing with him in the first 20 minutes. So he didn't help himself.
Okay, okay. And I can see that Mike is saying that the speech went on for too long. Now, there's the Martyn Lucas channel, okay? We all love you. The real family love you. And you make some speeches that go on for too long as well. But who stays? The people that love you. Yes?
Correct?
Yes?
Correct?
Right. So if you get shot, yeah,
I totally get
that's
it. Totally get it.
absolutely emphasized to the nth degree. This guy is looking for energy from the people that is loving him. And I'm like, look, I'm doing this for you guys. The reason why I'm still here, I'm a billionaire. I don't need to do this.
Great. I get it. Agree with
I'm
you.
still here because, yeah,
I
because
agree with that.
I love you guys.
I
And you do that for a similar reason, Martin.
No, I
I think
agree.
you do.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Yes, because I don't need to do this. I could go out and sell a theatre and earn money. Right? Same thing. I love doing this. Right?
Yep.
The difference is I can sit here and talk all day long and you can switch off whenever you want. That's absolutely fine. He was there to do a specific thing. And he can talk as long as he wants. We're not saying he can't speak. We're not saying he can talk for 20 hours. He can talk for as long as he wants. What I'm saying is, I am not allowed.
Exactly when you say, this is my show, I do as I like.
Yes, but I can't.
That's Donald Trump's show.
Yes,
He does as he
hang on though. You are right.
Okay, here we go.
No. I can sit here and say what I want as long as I want.
I'm sure your audience is loving this. I'm telling you right
Listen, I can sit here and talk as long as I want, and I can say whatever I want. What I'm saying, and I think maybe a few people are missing the point, so I'm going to try and put it a different way. If I was shot yesterday and I'd had a terrible day, really bad, and I'm sitting here wanting the support from my friends, I would get it. You would join me. You'd be part of the family. I'd get support. I know. Right. Yeah. That's great. I sit here and talk for 20 hours, do a 24-hour show. Fine. I can do that. What is not helpful to you, as in him, or in my case, me, would be to sit here and make up untruths. If I suddenly started lying about stuff to get you to love me more, that's because of my insecurities. That's because I've got something I want to hide. And the moment you realize I'm saying something untrue and ridiculous, you're going to lose respect for me. You're not going to, you might still like me, but you're going to go, Martyn, you shouldn't have said that. You just made that up. I can't do that, can I? I can't sit here and say, my portfolio is now up $1 million, because you'd all laugh at me and go, I'm talking rubbish.
Stood out to you? What's the obvious lie that stood out to you? I can see that Vaz has asked me to do a Donald Trump impression. I haven't actually done that before, so I don't want to fake it, till I make it. But anyway,
do you agree what I just said? Lie? Do you agree if I sat here, I had a really bad day and you're all supporting me and I just made up stuff? My portfolio is $1 million and it's never been better. I'm the greatest investor in the world. I got $1 million. You'd all go, we can see you've got 77,000, 100,000. You're making it up. What would you do? You'd think I was either mad, bonkers, exaggerating, or a liar. You wouldn't respect me for it, would you?
Well, if you okay.
Well, would
First
you?
of all, I'm a data scientist. I'm a data person. If I'm going to compare lie to lie in terms of statistics, Biden has told way more lies than Donald Trump.
Maybe he has.
Ever imagine.
Maybe he has. That's not the debate. We're not children in a playground saying, my dad's bigger than your dad. We're not doing that. I mean, we're not. The debate isn't who made the most lies.
Martyn,
the debate is
what the mainstream media calls lies about Trump is Trump's exaggeration, and I think he does that deliberately. From what I've analyzed, he instead of saying 10%, he says 50% to gauge attention, to get a reaction, as opposed to Biden, who doesn't actually know what he's talking about.
Again, this is not a debate with who's the worst liar. I mean, that's a whole different video. We could sit down and go, we could compare speeches. We're talking about a speech.
As the leader of the free world, as the leader of the free world, who are actually, obviously, one is 81 years old, one is 78 years old, and both of them are, to an extent, lunatics. I am not going to disagree with that, but
I wouldn't say that.
that you're very politically.
I don't think either one of them is a lunatic. I think they're both decent blokes. I bet they have family life, people that love them. They've got friends who love them.
Right,
we're talking about politics.
The intellectual capacity. Biden does not have the intellectual capacity to lead the world right now. Let's just make that clear.
I can agree with you. His health isn't very good. Yeah, I agree. I don't think I would want him to run my country. I agree.
Answer, Martyn. That's a very diplomatic answer. Because Martyn, you can be in the White House and make better decisions than that guy, and that's not a what do you call? I'm saying that in a good way.
I don't think anyone is in any doubt. From both sides, that Joe Biden is not fit to be president right now. Democrats don't think that. Republicans don't think that. Probably he's going to step down. He probably doesn't think that either. we're not talking about who's the best president right now. We're simply talking about what happened last night and what he said. That's all we're saying.
Yeah. But my point, again, the reason why I called is I thought what he did showed a great
I
level of
agree.
strength and
I
courage.
agree. Amazing.
Yeah.
Did you notice when he first came into the convention hall, when he first walked down the hallway, because I watched it, he looked terrified. His eyes, he got better every day he
Yeah,
did it.
no, no.
The first day,
He
he probably thought, is there somebody in here with a gun? I
Exactly.
would have thought that. I'd have been terrified.
Exactly, yeah. And
Yeah.
I believe that's exactly why his speech was driven in that certain direction, because he was thinking, I'm actually shitting my pants right now, and I need the people that love me to be with me. And he wasn't thinking, you know what, those who don't vote for me, I need to, appeal to them. He was thinking, those who actually do support me, thank you. Thank God I'm still alive.
Hang on, MSK, that's fine. And like I say,
Yeah.
he can talk as long as he wants. He's probably going to be the president. It's his party.
Yeah.
It's his party. Do what you like.
Yeah.
That's not what anyone has ever. No, I don't think anyone would disagree with that. But you can't make up false claims. You can't lie. There's no excuse to lie. I've had some really bad days. The day I got, let me finish. Let me finish, please. The day I got margin called. Remember that day a couple of years ago? It was horrible. I lost money. I then didn't
You know
go
what?
right.
I don't think I was in with this channel when you got margin called. I think I joined after.
Yeah, there was I just
Yeah.
touched margin. I wasn't actually called, but technically I was, but I wasn't. I just paid $5 and I'm back up again. But the point was, it happened. I was having a bad day. I was really upset and thought, oh my God, I'm going to lose all my money. I'd never done it before. Didn't know what was going to happen. It was scary. That then doesn't give me the right to go and say, right, I'm a spaceman. And yesterday I robbed a bank and tomorrow I'm just make up rubbish. I can't do that because you're all going to go, Martyn's a liar. He's talking rubbish. I can't do because you'd lose respect for me, right? You can't just make up stuff.
Well, no, I don't think it's that simple, is it? Because
Is it
I
not?
think true friends, we go through journeys together. At the end of the day, we may disagree in terms of various subjects, but we know who we are as
Yeah.
friends. And there's a reason we became friends in the first place, yeah? And I'm telling people, at the end of the day, I'm comfortable calling Martyn literally on WhatsApp and asking him for advice. So that's the level of friendship I see Martyn as. So there's no way I'm going to be an enemy to Martyn if he disagrees. Like, how many times has Martyn says Tilray rubbish? I devoted a lot of money on Tilray, and that's like my child. This guy has called my child rubbish, but I am not disrespecting him for that. I will never do that because that's respect.
But
That's
me
maturity.
saying a stock is rubbish is an opinion.
Yeah.
It's not a fact. Me
Absolutely.
saying Tilray is bankrupt when it's not is either a lie or at least very ill-informed. There's a difference between an opinion and making a statement of fact.
Absolutely, yeah.
You can't go around and say you can say what you like. I could sit here and make up lies all day long, but it wouldn't be the sort of channel that anybody would want to watch unless they just wanted to laugh at me and think it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's the idea. Just be a comedian, lie about everything.
But I think my point is, I understand that friends may have completely opposite opinions, but you're friends for a reason because you respect each other's values.
Yes,
And
absolutely. You can call in. You can be live on my show.
Because,
Yes. You can say anything you want. You can ask me anything you want, and I will answer it. I'll ask you anything, and you'll answer it. That's what we do. That's a
And you
debate,
know what?
and we're
I
being
see
honest.
some comments. They can ask me anything. I will answer. Easy.
Mike just said he just won the lottery. There you go.
No, you didn't, Mike.
Yes,
no,
he did.
Didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Oh, did you win
How do you know?
$15? You won $15, didn't you? Well done, Mike.
Yeah, Mike's just won the lottery and bought another snake.
There you go.
Anyway, Team Fusion, how are you, Mike? A lot better. Almost well, thank you, Dan. Sounds like a good Friday, Mike. Winning lottery ticket and dancers. Oh, he's got dancers as well. Mike's got dancers apparently as well. Hell yeah. Not for not being political channel, persistently focusing on the same rhetoric. Samir, let me be clear, and this is important, I think. I spoke to Leah, who I always check things with today. I said, we're not a political channel, but as we've grown, we've learned that this is an investment channel. It's also a community for people to have a conversation, share ideas, support each other. And I think that the news, what's going on in politics and business, is to do with the stock market, number one, and an upcoming election has everything to do with the stock market, because the stock market prefers a Republican Party. That's just the fact. That's how it works. But I want to be clear, just so everyone knows, I have a green card. I can't vote, wouldn't vote. I've got no idea. I wouldn't. If you asked me today, pick one, Republican or Democrat, I wouldn't know. I don't know enough about American politics to tell you who I'd vote for. I don't know. That's the honest truth. I don't know who I'd vote for right now. So this is not a political channel to get anyone to vote for anybody. This is a debate about the economy, finances, shares, stocks, investments. And right now, an election is very relevant. Robbie Cooper says Biden is very ill. He certainly looks that way. Team Fusion, who voted the US president the leader of the free world? I didn't, and the world is not free. I've always been unsure what that means, the leader of the free world. I've never understood when Americans say that United States is free. Well, so is the UK. So is every country in Europe. I'm not sure what that means, the free world. But it's just something people say.
Sorry, Martin, I have to interrupt. To that person who said, I didn't know this was a political channel. This is your channel. You decide. Of course, foremost, this is a investment channel, of course, but you decide what content is coming out. So if anyone's going to question, for example, it was my channel, I'll tell that individual, whoever it is, to fuck off. Because I decide what happens in my channel.
Let's just calm the language. We don't that.
Sorry, Martin, sorry.
That's all right. We don't want to do that. I mean, I appreciate what he's saying, but at the end of the day, yes, just like when I was a singer, when I do my music shows, I go with the audience. Like tonight, people will ask me to do certain songs. Sometimes we're rock and roll. Sometimes we're all sad music. Sometimes whatever. Yeah. I do what people want me to do. People ask for reviews. Yeah. People comment to videos, so I know they want more of that. I do hopefully what people want to engage with. There's absolutely no point me making videos and doing live shows that nobody's interested in. That would be a bit pointless, really, wouldn't it?
I agree with you, Martin, but these are the same people that come back and said, oh, due to your advice, I just lost 10 grand. Does MSK ever do that? No, there's a reason for that. Because I make my own decisions. I take responsibility for my own decisions. Don't actually, if you lose money, it's your own responsibility. You made that decision. Don't blame other people. Don't come to Martin like, oh yeah, Martin, you said that this is a $10, $100 stock. Don't say that. Do your own due diligence. Right?
Correct. Right? David Ewan says, someone says stop fighting, and David Ewan says they aren't fighting. No, me and MSK are very good friends. We're having a debate. Absolutely. We're having fun. We're laughing. It's a bit of a comedy. It's a joke, but we're enjoying every minute of it. I wouldn't have MSK on the show if it wasn't good, fun, if I didn't enjoy the conversation. You're enjoying it. We're all enjoying it. There's no bad feeling here whatsoever. Please understand that this is completely fun. Just after you catch COVID, Martin. What's that? Yes, I believe that that Joe Biden has COVID, I believe. Yes. Pot calling the kettle, Ed Spitzer. Okay, let's move over that one. We are not debating Biden. We're discussing the fact that the speech was too long. Trump speeches are mostly too long, and he goes off script. Again, I'll put this to you, MSK. Last night, his speech, which he agreed to, was pre-set, and it was agreed that this would be the way to go. read off the teleprompter. That was it, which he did. And then he thought, sod it, I'm now going to do what I want for another hour. And that's fine. He can do what he wants. But that doesn't mean to say it doesn't have consequence. You know, if I can sit here and say, I'm going to say all sorts of stuff now. I'm going to swear, run around naked, stand on my head, whatever. There's going to be consequences if I do that. It's not just going to not exist. Okay. Stuff's going to happen.
Can I rebuttal that? Rebuttal, as they call it. If I know that someone has actually tried to assassinate me and they could do today, I'm going to speak whatever is on my mind and not give a fuck.
Stop the swearing, MSK. I can't have you keep swearing.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
None of those parameters even matter or can be applicable to me if I'm not afraid of death.
Fair enough. Say what you want. Do what you want. It's free to say whatever you want. Absolutely. There's no debate. There's no disagreement there. You can say whatever you want, but just bearing in mind, whatever you say has an effect. Every cause has an effect.
Martyn Toledo. I'm going to come after you, potty mouth. I'm going to come after you, Martyn Toledo. Trust me.
Pardon?
That guy in the comments, he called me a potty mouth. I'm going to come after you.
Okay, let's just leave all that. Craig, can you never vote
before his life is in danger? Trust me.
Yeah, let's just leave that. Craig says, can you never vote then, Martyn? I thought all immigrants were swaying towards voting. Now, let me explain how it works. As a green card holder, I can't vote. No, I can vote when I become a US citizen, which I'm in the process of doing. So I'm in the process of becoming a US citizen. Then I can vote. Then I'll be an American in every sense of the word, other than the fact I wasn't born here. But yeah, at some point over the next couple of years, I'll be a US citizen and I will be able to vote. No idea which way I'm going to vote because I can't yet. But anyway, let's have a look.
I just love how trolls have they think they have bravery and courage to say stuff, on a chat. If they're confronted, they'll piss their pants. Trust me.
Ed Spitzer, can I just be clear? Why I ask MSK not to swear is not because I'll be demonetized at all. It's got nothing to do with it. You can swear as much as you want. Lots of channels do all kinds of things. They do all kinds of things that I don't do on my channel. We just don't want swearing, and MSK knows that, and he says sorry when he does it. It's not a problem. It's nothing to do with being demonetized. Not trying to police the channel. I just don't want swearing on the show. That's it. No more. I don't swear.
Mike and Martyn. I was just responding to Mike there.
You have to say sod off, the British version. Yeah, so that's right. That's the British version is sod off. Yes. Got to love the keyboard warriors. Absolutely right. Why did the Secret Service take so long to take the shot when the crowd were literally pointing him out? Yeah, we discussed that the other day. There was a video about that. Please go and check that out. We're not going to go over that again now, but yes, there was a video made on that. I can't time out swearing on the live calls. No, Mike, you can't. MSK is okay. I've got him. I've got him in my sights. So, let's have a look. Social media, let any fool say. Samir, stockbroker license to discuss financial instruments and has credentials to be reputable and credible. Social media, let any fool say what they want. And social teacher. Okay, Samir, with just all due respect, as MSK has pointed out, this is my channel. You've come into my world. You've chose to be here. It's free. You didn't pay an entry ticket. No one forced you. You can leave whenever you want. 98% of our viewers are actually paid members who want this content. You're watching it for free. You don't have to watch. So, I'm not a financial advisor. Never said I'm a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my experience of trading and investing. Do as you will. And that is it. If you don't like it, don't watch. But clearly you must enjoy it because you're here engaging with us. So accept that you like it and live within your own skin. Medical advice or a pianist can
defending his family. That's just bullshit. Don't do that. You can't be coming into Martyn's house and offending his family and throwing out insults and telling Martyn what to do with his house, with his family. You can't be doing that. Martin
Hey,
is actually too generous, because if it was my house, you'd be smacked. You'd be smacked.
Team Fusion, I want to sing some songs. Yes, we'll be on the music show in a minute. It's obviously going to be a few minutes late this evening, but that's okay. Everyone's
Thank
here
God for
anyway.
that. Thank God for
You
that.
almost
That's
had
like
it in frame, MSK, David. I had my campfire at the ready. Okay. Right, well, we're coming to the end of our show in a couple of minutes. We'll end this. So obviously the music show is going to be a little bit late, just a few minutes, not much, to be honest. I do have my SoFi video, Robbie. That'll be out probably now over the weekend, if not tonight. So check that out. Also, coming over the weekend, please look out for the following videos. In fact, I can't show you what they are now. Oh, my TPL review. TPL review is coming out. Probably the best like I've ever seen, to be honest. I've got a couple of TPL videos. I also have a Sciata review coming out over the weekend as well. Check that out if you're interested. A couple of comments before we go. Neutral Martin. What's that mean? Neutral Martin Imagine. I have no idea what that means, but I don't know. Stephen, could you rephrase what that means? Be true to yourself and exclusive. Exclusively cover VU. Well, I think I'm pretty confident to say I'll ask MSK as a member of our channel, has been a member of our channel for a long time. He's our biggest ever super chat contributor. He's been one of our top members and viewers and supporters in every which way possible. MSK, if I only ever talked about VU every single day on every live show and every video, would you watch as much as you do now?
No.
I thought that would probably be the answer. I don't know how I could talk about it every day either.
I just have to say, Ed Spitzer,
Stephen
I appreciate
Lewandowski
that.
donated $4.99 through a super chat. Neutral Martin Imagine.
Imagine.
Yeah, I just wanted a shout out to Ed Spitzer. I really appreciate that comment. And yeah, I'm a man of integrity. I don't lie. I just speak my mind, and sometimes it gets me into trouble. But Martin accepts me because he's a real man. You know, there will be a lot of YouTubers who won't let me even go on live. Okay, because they know I'm going to speak the truth. But Martin is a truthful person. He is a man of integrity, just like myself, and that's why I respect this channel. That's why I support this channel. That's why I've super chatted as much as I have, because he's a real man, just like me. I resonate with such characters.
Wonderful. MSK, lovely to have you on the show, as always. How are things in your just person to person, as if no one's watching? How are you? How's things at home?
Yeah, no, everything is good. Everything is good. Everything is good. And you know what? I've been quite. You must be wondering, why is he supporting Trump? He's from the UK. It doesn't even matter to him. But after seeing what's happened in the last week or so, uh, yeah, I'm not going to say much more. But I think
I can
yeah,
resonate to that, and I agree. And I said to Leah, is going to walk the election. I just think, and the title of my video, just so everyone's clear, I want to be absolutely clear, and I'm fully endorsing what you're saying there. Look,
yeah,
this was my video this morning. Missed chance. There is the title there. I called it Missed Chance, and the reason why I called it Missed Chance was because what happened, not it was a gift, because clearly being assassinated, attempted assassination is no gift for anyone. However, the world is very divided. It's not up for debate. There are wars. The United States isn't united. There's half the country hate the other half. There's very, very unhappy people in America, as there are all around the world. And I just felt, because of what did happen to him, a missed chance. If he'd have been just the first 15 minutes and then gone very humble and said, hey, I know you might not all like me. Hey, I know you might not all agree with me, but I want what's best for America. Let's all come together. and walked off the stage, he probably would have had a landslide vote.
Well, we
And
don't know that yet.
that would have been great,
Yeah.
because if you'd got a landslide, the president can do a lot more without, you'd become a united country and stand behind one man. And I think that would be a wonderful thing to see, because I'm sure
Do you know
he
what,
wants to do what's
Martin?
best for his country.
Vivek Ramaswamy did that favor for him, to be honest.
Hey, say again?
I think Vivek Ramaswamy did that favor for him. And there's, as a leader, you need to accept that you don't have all the qualities or skills to do everything correctly, and you need to rely upon the skills within your team. And I'm speaking that from personal experience, because I am a leader, and I know that I own my own business, and I know that I can't do everything better than everyone else in the world. So that's why I recruit people who I vet and understand that they can do the best thing to deliver a specific role. And I think Trump has that ability. And what you just described, yes, you're right. You're right. But I think some of the other people who spoke on his behalf and who endorsed him really touched upon what he missed out, which is appealing to the others that are not in here going to vote for him necessarily. And I think that's what the role of a true leader is about, Martin.
Yeah. No, on that note, we'll wind this up. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
One man is not running the country, even if you do have almighty power, which obviously a president isn't a dictator. You're not a king. You're not an emperor. You can't wave
No.
a sword and chop everyone's heads off. Thank God. But at the end of the day, you are right. It's a whole people. Whichever government wins in America, as in England or any other country, it's the people, the citizens of the country that make the stuff, that build the stuff, that get up in the morning, that do the work, that make the country work. Whichever party runs the country, it doesn't make a damn difference to the man who empties your bin. It doesn't make a damn difference to the man who bakes the bread and the nurse who takes care of you in hospital. And on that note, I think we'll leave it, because it's the people that make the country, not the president or the prime minister. And let's leave it like that, shall we?
I'm just going to say, Zach Zate, appreciate that, the comment that he made.
What did Zach Zate say?
He said, "You're a true good vibe and energy," and I appreciate that. And so are you, brother. So are you.
I've just got something come in, and appreciate the reviews. Can you review Hawaiian Electric at some point? Yes, I can. $5 puts it pretty much actually at the top. Let me just write that down. Just pop over MSK's face for a second.
Robbie Cooper donated £5 through a super chat. Appreciate your reviews. Please can you review Hawaiian Electric at some point?
There we go. It's there. Hawaiian. Let me just write it down. Hawaiian Electric. This is for Robbie Cooper. Yes, indeed. It's fourth on the list. I knew it was near the top. Okay, great. That will be done on Monday, Tuesday. My next review, which will happen for Scalding Hot, which is AGNC. Then we got Kawasaki for Seth Houston. And then we've got, all these will be done on Monday. Medical technology, glucose monitoring for Cedar Trees. And then Robbie Cooper will be coming down to you. Good stuff. All right, that's it from me. Thank you ever so much. Let me just correct that name, Robbie. There we go. Done. Okay, fantastic. We're all ready to go.
You have to address Zach Zate's question there. That's a very funny question. Can I just, you know what? I'll read it out for you.
Please do.
If Martin runs this country, what position will MSK? What position will MSK would be? Okay, what position would MSK hold? Is
None.
his question?
He'd be fired. He wouldn't have a chance. He wouldn't get a chance.
That's
there
the right
it is.
answer.
There
That
it
is
is.
the right
It took me
answer.
20 minutes, but we got it in the end. There it is. Great. I love it. He wouldn't get a shout out. However, a leader's job is to motivate, inspire, and bring people on your team together under one goal. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. He'd be my vice president, according to David Ewan. He'd be lucky. He'd be lucky. I would put him in the
Zach, by the
depot
way,
of welfare.
that's the right answer because MSK would be the prime minister, not Martin.
Not me. No. I'd be the dustman. I'd be emptying the bins on a Sunday, right? Cisco Global has announced a solution of CrowdStrike collapse. MSK, a White House
You'll be
cleaner.
the chief entertainer. That's it. The chief entertainer.
The entertainer. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. MSK, I've got to go because there are people that only watch the music channel and they'll be wondering where the hell is the music channel.
Cooper, my goodness, he would never say that to my face. Anyway, Robbie, if you want to talk to me, I'm happy to talk to you in face.
MSK, I'm going to cut you off. I've got to go. Love you and leave you. Thanks for calling
You're
in.
just protecting Robbie right now.
Hey?
Thanks, Martin, for protecting Robbie right now because he's a little bitch.
Right. Well, okay. What's going on now? A White House. He means the cleaner. You should be. He means you be the cleaner at the White House.
I'll clean your house out, including you and your. Anyway. Let's
Okay.
not. Let's not. You don't
All
want
right.
to mess with me like that. You don't want to mess with. Go on.
All right. MSK.
Keep talking.
MSK, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for your energy. I appreciate you all to bits.
Thanks, Martin. Sorry for that.
Not at all.
I'm blaming Robbie.
It's all good. MSK, I've got to let you go. We've got to end the show because I've got to get on with the music show. That's it from me. Thanks for calling in, everybody. Always a lively show with MSK. Always a bit of drama. You never know what's coming up next. So I'll see you back on the music channel. I'm going to give everyone the link now because we are massively over time. The music channel is just 4 minutes away. So there is the link to the music channel. I'm going to give it to everybody that is watching on Rumble. We've got a big audience on Rumble today. Lovely to see, one of my best audiences. So there's my Rumble thing there to the music show. Let me redirect this so it goes automatically for you if you're watching here on YouTube. Okay. Let me do that. No, not the extra channel. I beg your pardon. Let me go back to the music channel. There we go. Upcoming live show. Just a couple of minutes away. Right. We're all good. I think everything is set. And this is where we're going to be in just a couple of minutes' time. Hopefully you'll come and join me. New members came in today. We have about 3 or 4 new members. You can get a song tonight in the show if you want to have a request. That's it. Light up the magic carpet, says Mike. I will see you all there in a minute. Get on the magic carpet now. It's time for Friday night rock and roll. Thanks for all being here. Another week. The stocks are down. Have you been buying the dips? Hopefully next week it'll hit the bottom and we'll start going up again. That's just investing. Are you an investor or are you a trader? That's what it's all about. Let me end there. Let me bring it back to there. And we are done. Thank you ever so much. Another week. We had a great week. We got Donald Trump back on stage. Great to see him there. Not, of course, lost his life. That would have been tragic. Really great to see him back on stage where he belongs. He loves being up there. And I'm very, very pleased that he's well and healthy and presenting on stage again. But for me, I'll see you back on Sunday. Aha! I forgot to mention everybody on Sunday. We've got the rebirth, the reborn, the return of Sensei Crypto. He is back on Sunday on the homepage of the channel. The very next show, there it is. Sensei is back in 2 days from now, Sunday at 3 p.m. Central. Make sure you join Sensei for the Sunday show. He's back. I can't wait to tune in and hear all about it. But join me now in the music channel. The studio is ready. We're going to have some fun. I will see you back there in a few minutes' time. Until then, as always, till next time, take care of yourselves and each other.